Now, how about them damn Celtics?
And we are back for another episode of How About Them Celtics. Sam and I are here recording Sunday, November 9th, after the Celtics win over the Orlando Magic. Final score, 111-107, bounce back after they lost to the Magic just 2 nights ago. I think this is their only 2 games against the same team away of the season. I think they have some home and homes, but great bounce back win. Looked good. Some fun storylines to follow. Came down to the crunch time, and ended up being a very, very successful crunch time victory for Boston.
Yeah, really just this game had everything. Like, there's no other way to put it. It had absolutely everything. Jaylen Brown played really well for stretches of this game. You had excitement. You had back and forth. Anthony Simons went supernova for a quarter and then didn't score for the rest of the game. Jordan Walsh played his first clutch time minutes that meant anything ever. He did play clutch minutes last year, but it was like a March-April game that meant nothing. This is the first time he was ever asked to be out there to try and win a game that they cared about winning. And he made really good plays to help them win this game, obviously making a big three at the end of the game to ice it pretty much. Derek White kind of found himself again. It was like, whoa, he looks normal, which was great. And more importantly, I just think the Celtics showed a lot of fight in this game. And they honestly have shown a lot of fight throughout this season. They showed fight on Friday. It didn't end the way you would like it to end. But today they came out flat. Orlando was blowing the doors off them again. They fight all the way back. Simons is big thank you for that. Have to credit him. And then somehow, inexplicably, Luka Garza takes over in the fourth quarter to help the Celtics build a lead. And then Nemi fouls out and he has to come back in for a little bit. He has a really big putback and one in this game to just help them continue to keep the Magic at a distance. This was maybe the funniest NBA game I've watched all year. I was laughing on my couch. It was just a content gold mine. So we can start wherever you'd like. We can't go wrong. It's just all winners.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I want to start with Jordan Walsh because he had that huge shot at the end of the game that basically closed it out. And we can lump in Ugo a little bit too because I think those two are very connected in my mind in this game. The defense that those two played was absolutely incredible and an integral part of the reason the Celtics were able to win this basketball game. They come in, Ugo in particular, but both of them guard Paolo Banchero, pick him up full court, are roaming around everywhere, going for steals or helping in the paint, just doing absolutely everything they can to create complete and utter chaos, which is kind of what Joe has wanted to all season. And it felt like the lineup at the start of the fourth quarter that was Derek, Peyton, Ugo, Jordan, Nemi was just holy shit, the Magic can't do anything. They're just being an absolute pain in the ass. And Jordan was a huge, spearheader of that cause. Was also a monster on the defensive glass. 5 defensive rebounds, was tied for the most in this game with Peyton Pritchard, which is ironic. He's done a phenomenal job of going up and getting a bunch of rebounds. Celtics as a team did a very good job rebounding as a team tonight. Nobody had significantly more than the other outside of Luka Garza, who had 8 and everyone else had 6 or less. So it was a big group effort there. But Jordan finished 6 points, including the monster 3 at the end, was 2 of 2 from 3. 6 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals. He was a great connector too. This might be the most impactful game Jordan Walsh has ever played in his Celtics career, and it was so fun to watch.
Yeah, that's what I landed on for writing about tonight, and it's truly incredible. Just a week ago, I don't think today's Friday, so I don't think you could have told me that a week ago Jordan Walsh. Oh no, I'm sorry, today's Sunday. My bad. Very much my bad. I still don't think a week ago you could have told me Jordan Walsh would be on the floor for crunch time. Never mind making the shot in crunch time. Don't want to discredit Derek White, who also made one of the shots in crunch time after being really cold. But Jordan Walsh plays his way onto the closing lineup after just a whirlwind of a week. The Celtics get boat raced by the Rockets last Saturday. He gets extended run for the first time this season. Up until that point, he hadn't played more than 3 minutes. He hadn't even played 3 minutes yet, rather. He was playing 1 and 2 minutes in his total game minutes. That's what he was getting. Goes out against the Rockets, plays really well, earns himself just a little bit of respect, gets on the floor for the next 2 games, plays really, really well against the Wizards, plays well on Friday again against Orlando. And then today, you mentioned it, he was the guy they put on Paolo. like Orlando was screening to try and get him off of Paolo in the fourth quarter. Like that's how annoying he was. Granted, like they were trying to get an Anthony Simons switch, so that might be more like towards Simons being a weaker, bad matchup for Paolo rather than Jordan Walsh being that much of a menace. But the fact that like Joe Mazzulla trusted him to be the guy stopping Orlando's best players says a lot about how he feels about Walsh as a defender. Xavier Tillman crashed Jordan's post-game interview with Caleb Burton, was like, this guy is Mr. Lockdown, like he'll guard anybody, like really gassed him up. So it's clear like the teammates, everybody within the organization seems to believe in him. And it's nice to see somebody like Jordan Walsh get a win because, I mean, this season, the preseason started like a month ago. And over the last month, like we've written him off at times. And like, I don't think that was unwarranted. It's just like, it didn't look like the stars were going to align for him to get an opportunity. And he's actually gotten it. He's made the most of it. And I'm excited to see what's to come for him. But yeah, like just really smart plays under control, which was surprising for a guy that doesn't have a ton of NBA minutes. Like he wasn't making dumb decisions. He wasn't committing bad fouls. Like he was able to be out there at the end of this game and you didn't feel like he was going to mess it up.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he is fully earned the trust, it seems, to be in some of these spots. And for what it's worth, I think he could lose it in just as much amount of time. Like I don't think he's
We've
safe
seen
in
it
rotation, but he's been awesome. Like, it's been so fun to watch the way that he has approached the game, the way that he has embraced the sort of role that they're very clearly like happy to let him play. I don't know, man. It just him and Ugo are the perfect examples of what the Celtics want to see in that, sort of ball pressure, chaos role. Like there's one play where the Magic threw the ball into the post and Jordan Walsh was already there to strip steal as the pass was in the air. Like his timing has been incredible too. So shout out Jordan, shout out Ugo. Derek White was also incredible defensively in this game. He only had 3 steals, but it felt like he had 4 steals, 7 blocks. Like he was everywhere. It was a ridiculous defensive performance from Derek on a night where, although he didn't end up shooting the ball great, it felt like to me, especially in the first half, like Derek White is gaining his confidence back. Like just the way he was moving, the way he was approaching the game, the way everything was sort of coming together for him. Like you can just tell, like it feels like he is getting a little bit more confident after what has been a pretty rough season for him. And obviously culminated in him hitting that huge shot at the end that got drowned out by Jordan's, but it was equally as important, like you mentioned. But Derek's defense in particular as well, alongside Jordan and Ugo in this game were complete game changers for the Celtics. Anthony Simons too, him and Luka Garza. I feel like after truly awful they were on Friday's game, just completely 180'd in this one. And I mean, listen, still not great defensively, like objectively. And I think that's just going to be the case for those two. But that didn't really matter when they were as hot as they were in this game. And Anthony Simons completely turned the game on its head in that first half. He just could not miss, and he is fully capable of doing that on a whim. Like that can just happen, and that's part of why he was paid as much as he was, and part of why he's a player in this league. And then Luka Garza, just those little in the lane floaters, largely because the Magic started doubling Anthony Simons in the pick and roll. Luka Garza just capitalized and just started hitting all those shots, grabbing big offensive rebounds. So credit to those two, bouncing back after Friday. Like high impact games in this one.
Man, I want to talk about Derek White first, and then I'll talk about the other two. This was just another like step in the right direction for Derek White. You said it, like it kind of all led up to him making the big 3, but like even without him making that shot, like if he missed it, it might change it a little bit, but like say the shot just didn't happen, like somebody else got the shot, somebody else made the shot, we would have been probably coming on the pod being like, Derek White still seems like he's got his edge back. Like you mentioned defensively, he was everywhere. He had 3 steals in this game. He was just a pest for Orlando. And that's what they really have missed. It felt like there were times where his energy was affected because like you could tell his confidence was off. And for him to get the opportunity to take the shot at the end of the game, to make it, it just felt like the payoff after this 11-game trial he has been through mentally. Like just man must have been in a pretzel. Still wasn't super efficient either from the field or from 3, but he was 4 of 9 from inside the arc, 3 of 9 from outside. So nothing particularly special, but I still think he was impactful without scoring, which I really feel like is just the messaging from Joe, like really ringing true again to both him and Peyton is just like, go find what you do without making the threes. And when the threes come, you're going to be so much better. And whenever the threes start to really come back for Derek White, we're really going to feel it. But the one he made tonight felt like he made more than he did in this game because of how important it was.
Definitely. Yeah, Derek, just from the jump, like in the first quarter, I remember I turned to Noah because we were sitting next to each other. I was like, yeah, Derek's back. Like you can just see the way he's moving. He like went for a floater after he could have like passed it up, and like it was just a very impressive game, in my opinion, from Derek White, despite the relative lack of efficiency from him. Like it was the way he was moving, the way it felt like for him. But before we do continue, I want to tell you guys about Prize Picks. This basketball season is fully underway, so make sure to check out all the action over there. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. You and I make decisions every day, but on Prize Picks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this basketball season on Prize Picks, where it's good to be right. Prize Picks now offers stacks, which means if you want to capitalize on some of these big seasons from Jaylen Brown and others around the league, you can pick the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. If you want to pick the more in Jaylen Brown points, threes, assists, or rebounds, or dunks, which he had another monster one today. Like you can take any 3, you can pick all of them in the same lineup, only on Prize Picks. You can also follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click, whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or someone who's just, it picks you like. Hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. It's the best way to win cash this basketball season. Which players are going off, which ones are overhyped, makes your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long. You join millions of users and sign up for America's #1 fantasy sports app. So make sure to jump in over there to check it out. Download the Prize Picks app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. But back to this game.
I don't want to.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't want to admit Anthony and Luka because Nick and I did the podcast yesterday without Jack. I made the thumbnail before Nick and I even did the podcast, having just leftover feelings from the Friday game. And the thumbnail was Anthony Simons and Luka Garza, and it said, "What do they do?" And it's like somebody ran up to them and showed them that before the game, because they showed us exactly what they do. Anthony Simons was a microwave off the bench, like exactly what you pictured in your mind for the role when he came over via trade this summer. It's like, oh man, like he probably won't start, but he can probably give you really good scoring off the bench when you need it. He did that perfectly in this game. It couldn't have come at a better time. It saved the night. Like they could have just gotten blown to smithereens. And instead he just came in. First play of the game was a no, yes, step back 3 after 20 seconds of dribbling, goes in, and then we all buckled in for a wild ride. Meanwhile, Luka Garza literally heroic in the fourth quarter. He's out there to start the quarter, and he just cooks the Magic. He's getting offensive rebound after offensive rebound. He's getting himself in position to score the basketball. Like he was just downright annoying for the Magic today. I was laughing in my living room watching this because if I was a Magic fan and I watched my team get 16 and aided by Luka Garza en route to a loss, I would be irate. So big credit to those guys for just kind of staying the course and recovering from honestly like a rough week of games. Like they weren't good Friday, but they weren't good in either of the other games either. Luka Garza had a nice stretch earlier in the season where he had 3 straight really good games. He seems to just be a coin flip guy because there are things that he clearly does well, but when he's not doing those things, he's not worth playing. And the same can kind of be said for Simons, but he's been at least more consistently in the stat sheet than Garza.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, defensively, there were still some possessions in this game, decent amount, where both of them were like, all right, you can feel it. But when they're contributing, like, I mean, shit, man, they shot 61.5% and 87.5% from the field. Like, yeah, that'll override a lot of those feelings, like especially when you need the buckets as much as the Celtics did at times in this game. So huge credit to them for stepping up in the way they did. Luka Garza 4 offensive rebounds, and all of them just felt massive. Like all of them came at super important spots in the game. He had 16, like you said, and it was big. And then if Anthony Simons doesn't score those 25 points in the first half, the Celtics get blown out. It feels like so. Huge credit for them for doing what they did in this one. Jaylen was not as good as he's been in other games. Still had 27, 5 and an assist, steal block 4 turnovers was a little bit rough. 10 of 24, 1 of 4. It didn't feel like he was awful. He still hit some big shots where they needed to. That 3 he took late in the game, I was like, oh God, and then it went in. So like credit to him for making that one after starting the game 0 for 3, it seems. Not the best Jalen game, but he still gave you 27 points on a night where they very clearly needed the scoring.
Yeah, I feel like going into the season, like this is the type of game that you feared would be regular for Jalen. Like gets his numbers, takes him probably too many shots to get there. I thought this was an example of Jalen getting frustrated. We saw it a couple times. I think the Jazz game was an example. The Rockets game was certainly an example. He ended up getting 7 free throws in this game, but he got hoed in this game. You tweeted about it. Literally everybody was tweeting about it. Like he has the dunk in the third quarter, gets clearly whacked by Jalen Suggs, and they don't call anything. And that was like the culmination of like, he has been playing aggressive basketball, not only tonight, but the entire season. His whole offensive game is physical. It's based on his strength, his ability to get to his spots, bump the defender, creating space for himself to take middies or finish at the rim. And yet, even with all of the contact he creates, he really doesn't shoot that many free throws. Like going into this game, he had averaged 5 free throws a game over the last 5. 20 of those free throws came across 2 games. So if you remove those 2 games, it was literally less than a free throw a game for the other, or it was like just over, it was less than 2 a game. So it was very inconsistent. He was not consistently getting to the free throw line. And for the first half tonight, very much the same. Kind of got a little bit more help in the second half. I think it's kind of getting to him. He's talked about it so much in the press, being like, the officials aren't calling things. The officials aren't calling things. And he's getting asked about it. So it's not completely him going up there unprompted to complain about it. But it is clearly frustrating him. He's complaining to the officials during the game. Thought he was almost certainly going to get a tech tonight after he got hit on the dunk. And then Orlando got something super soft on the other end. Like it was like a block, like where Paolo barreled over somebody or something of that matter. I think it affected him. So I think that's partly why his efficiency wasn't where it was, but still got the job done. Like you said, like he showed up when they needed him to show up, even though he was cold at times. He was still a reliable source of offense when the Celtics needed him to be
that. Yeah, it was fine. He did his job when he needed to. Peyton Pritchard, off shooting night. I still thought he was fine running the show. 5 assists, 3 turnovers, not great. Again, similar to Jalen, like off night for him. 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Joe went to Simons more in the first half. He went to Jordan and Ugo at times in the second half. Like I thought Peyton was fine. It was just an off night. He wasn't scoring well and only took 8 shots. But I don't think he was like necessarily bad in this game. It just wasn't like oh my God, Peyton Pritchard night. It was just like he was just kind of a cog in the machine.
Yeah, like cog in the machine is a great way to describe this because Peyton Pritchard properly had an off night. Like when I say that, it's like if you wanted to explain to a player how to handle the game when they aren't really scoring well, this is it. He only took 8 shots tonight, far below what he's been doing. Like he's been initiating offense for himself, taking a ton of shots, like good shots, not forcing anything. But it was just like, it's not my night. Okay, like I'm gonna try and do other things. Still had 5 assists, as you mentioned, still hit the glass. Like he tried his best to be impactful without scoring the ball, and it ended up helping the team win. Still was a crunch time guy. There was a moment there where I was like, oh my gosh, we're getting Anthony Simons and Luka Garza crunch time minutes with no Peyton Pritchard. What's going on here? And it would have just been like this guy's hot, this guy's not kind of thing. But definitely not anything to worry about. Uncharacteristic of him to turn the ball over 3 times. Definitely didn't look like himself. But again, like he didn't make it everybody else's problem, which is a big W for Peyton Pritchard.
Yeah, I think that's all you can do. I mean, like you talked about the messaging he gets from Joe, him and Derek, and like this is a perfect example of making impact without it. So, who's the other guy? Josh Minot and Sam Hauser just didn't really have it. Sam Hauser, I still thought made a couple of those. I'm gonna play solid defense, rebound the ball well plays. He had 4 defensive rebounds. Had a couple tip outs, getting them extra possessions, which he does. Which I feel like people don't understand how good he is at that, but. 0 for 2, 0 for 1, didn't really take a ton of shots, wasn't there for him. Other guys had more impactful games, to be played in this one. And then Josh Minot, same thing, just like other guys were more impactful at his position. Like Jordan and Ugo just sort of like took up those minutes because they were better, and that's okay. That's fine.
Yeah, like it's funny how this game worked tonight. It like the guys that you would typically rely on to have the good nights did not. Peyton, Josh Minot, Sam Hauser, 3 guys that have made themselves rotation staples this year. Meanwhile, Anthony Simons, Jordan Walsh, and Ugo are Luka Garza. Like I kind of would say for Nemi too, who fouled out in this game, 8 and 6, like was not bad by any means. Like he was average today. Like I would not say this was a bad Nemi game besides the fouls. But they just happened to have everybody else ready to go today that could have stepped up in their place. And it was super lucky just by the basketball gods coming in and being like, okay, like we're going to take Peyton Pritchard's powers and put them in Anthony Simons today. We're going to take Josh Minot and Sam Hauser's powers and put them into Jordan Walsh and Ugo tonight. And Luka Garza is going to be incredible in a game where Nemi fouls out. Like they couldn't have gotten more lucky with the way that the bench guys stepped up. By the way, bench 50 points in this game. Anthony Simons did half of them. But
Big.
For them to still get to 50 is very impressive considering how like ineffective the bench has been for the most part this year, scoring wise at least.
I mean, definitely. Yeah, no, they were massive in this game. Deserve a ton of credit. I don't know how much else there is in this one. Good win. I felt like good bounce back, good spot for it. I asked Joe for what it's worth. Magic made 17 threes on Friday, made 7 threes in this one. I said, did you change anything? He looked at me, goes, sure didn't. So sounds like just the variance.
I mean, if there's one thing that's clear, Magic are cup respecters. They got up for the cup. Shot the shit out the ball on Friday. Today they couldn't buy a basket. I mean, honestly, Paolo was much better today. Like, credit to him. Franz fell off a cliff. Where was this on Friday? Desmond Bane, 9 points today. Like, the Magic looked far more what the Magic have looked like against everybody else today. Like, this is the Magic team that is the record that they are, not the team they played Friday. And, you know, to Orlando's credit, like, the Celtics team that they played today was not indicative of the 5-6 record. The Friday team was. So it's just kind of how basketball works when you're not a super stacked team.
It happens. That's all I got, though. You got anything else?
No, nothing else. Just really, like, interesting game, like, fun game. This is what you kind of sign up for this season with the Celtics. You just walk away being like, wow, I can't believe, like, all those things happened. And they still won. Like, very cool.
Yeah. Agree. Very fun. But yeah, that's what I got. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll Sam take it out.
All right. Hey, thank you very much for listening and watching. Make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe. Jack and I are here every single day with new content. Full pods drop Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday. Game recaps morning after each game. Other videos are here in between to keep you up to date with all things Celtics. You can find the two of us on Spotify and Apple too. All pods and recaps are there. So leave a follow, leave a like, leave a 5-star review. We'd appreciate that very, very much. You can email us, hbtcpod@gmail.com. We'll read them every single time we do the show. hbtcpod@gmail.com. Our socials are at How About Them C's for Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook's the name of the podcast. All streams are there. They're on YouTube. They're on Twitter. Jack's Twitter is Jack's Money NBA. Mine's at Sam LaFrance NBA. That's it for us. Bye.
Taco, come on.
Taco's having some fun here.